Yeah.
Hello,
Hello.
Fabian Gedden from Salesforce.
McPherson. Please have a seat.
Thank you, Mr. McPherson.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Before I forget, this is my business card. If we split ways today, so you always have my business contacts. If you have questions about Salesforce.com or our discussion today, always reach out for me.
I have your information. Okay, great.
All right, Mr. McPherson. As a small recap, you remember we met 2 months ago at the Energy Symposium here at UGA in Athens, and you told me a lot about your company, the APC, the pipeline business. It's going really good for you. You make a lot of revenue, 100 billion, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's really successful.
Thank you.
But you also talked about some issues you have with your current customer relations
that's true.
software.
We talked about that.
And that was the reason for our meeting today, wasn't it? Okay. And it was like 20 minutes we could plan for today.
Yeah, only 20 minutes time.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we will make the most of it. And I hope, I'm sure we're going to have a good result in the end. One other question is there anybody else who has to sit down with us today?
No, nobody.
Okay, so it's just us today.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, then I also prepared a little agenda for our meeting today.
Yeah.
So first we're going to talk about a little bit about your current situation at APC and how's the business going and stuff. Later we will go on and find or figure out some problems maybe you have actually with your customer relationship software and where Salesforce can maybe help out.
Okay.
After that, I'm gonna give you a little presentation of Salesforce.com and how is it working, our software, and then in the end we will see if we can close out today or how we go on.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Is that fine for you?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. Do you mind me taking notes today?
No,
because
it's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And I might have to, or I will ask some questions because there are still some blanks I don't know, I'm not sure about, and just to figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. So then. Let's start over with our discussion or with our talk today. So you told me at the symposium that you had communications problems
that's true.
with your current software. Can you explain a little bit more what that means?
Actually, I feel like the communication in our company is the main problem we have faced last year. So I will tell you that's the main problem we need to fix.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what makes your communication difficult?
I would say that we are a lot of departments around the USA, and we are using different software for different departments. So sometimes it's kind of difficult to communicate really quickly between all those departments.
Okay. And did you already leave money on the table because of this miscommunication? So was there...
Yeah, kind of, because, for example, last year, because of the delay due to the communication, because of colleagues of different departments, we took too much time to find a deal with our customer. So sometimes we can leave, we can leave money on the table sometimes due to this lack of communication.
Okay. Can you monitorize this? So how much money did you lose through this incident you had?
Yeah, I remember last year we lost maybe a contract of 100 million because we were not enough quickly.
Oh, okay.
The communication was too slow and we lost our customer.
Okay, that's quite a lot of money then. For such a business. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, that's also like a problem I hear quite often, because I might mention that also have other customers in your same industry, also of same size, so I have quite an experience with dealing with company like you or like APC, and I see those problems quite often, but it might be helpful to use Salesforce then. Okay. So another question I came up with in my research before was that I met with one of your HR managers in the region, and he told me that some employees are dissatisfied with your computer system. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, in fact, last month, for example, we lost three of our top salesmen. They quit their job because our system seems outdated.
Oh,
so
okay.
they didn't do like good performance and they were like, they decided to quit. So just because of that. So.
Did you also lose customers through that, or was it also only the
Yeah,
salesman and they left the
yeah,
customer?
it was our top salesman, so obviously we lost customers. I would say that we lost approximately 2 customers per salesman.
Okay.
So 5 or 6 customers.
Okay.
That loss.
So if I look at your revenue numbers, I found on the internet, and also like with your current client profile, which is around 660 clients domestically and globally. Is it right to assume that this loss would be around $200 million with around those 5 customers leaving?
200, even a little bit more, $210 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me quickly take that down. So we have.
Yeah, actually, it was a big loss for our company.
Okay. Yeah. So, going on today is because I saw like that you have a lot of regions or a lot of operations globally and domestically.
Yeah.
So I could imagine, or can you tell me about? I think you told about at the energy symposium that you might face also some difficulties through expansion in other countries. So
that's true.
Is that true?
Yeah. In fact, in some country, we are losing a lot of time to communicate with the foreign country.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like employees who speak the foreign languages, but it's more about the business, the operation.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes it will be difficult for us. Yeah.
Okay. So we are talking about, just to make sure that we are talking about the CRM software introduction in those countries.
Yeah.
That
so
was
basically, when we start to deal with some foreign country, like for example last year in Egypt, we had problem with the currency conversion and quarterly performance.
Okay.
Yeah, because it doesn't appear in dollars for
Oh,
them.
okay.
So sometimes it could be difficult. It takes times to speak to them, to speak to their employees, and sometimes it takes too much time.
Okay, and I can imagine that this also left you, or did you lose money to that? So because of you were not quick enough, you might lose contracts.
I think we could have. I mean, I don't have like a precise amount of money, but I think we could have won at least 2 or 3 more customers.
Okay.
In Egypt.
Okay.
I guess with a better communication, a quicker communication. So basically we lost business in Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is that also like quantifiable? I mean, it's maybe harder because it's not real business you lost where you had revenue, but maybe there's also a chance to quantify this. Yeah.
So 2 or 3 customers in this country will represent between 80 and 150 million, I would say.
All right.
Nothing sure, so I'm sorry, I don't have like a specific amount of money, but
yeah, I mean, I
would say between 80 and 150 million dollars.
Okay. I understand that. All right. Okay. So that's like the questions I had from my side. Is there any other problem you want to discuss today with the software where you might need some improvement?
I think we spoke about the main problems we had faced last year, so I think, that's quite good.
Okay, so if you're fine with that, I would say we would go over to Salesforce, so I can show you. I brought the computers, or I have the computer system on my laptop here as well. I can show you some details of Salesforce and how it works, and then you can really get like an on-hand demonstration. You can also use the mouse here to click, and I can show you some stuff Salesforce can offer and where we can improve those problems we were talking about. So in the first problem you were saying, and one of the biggest problems is the miscommunication. Therefore,
that's true.
So you could see this is the dashboard of Salesforce. You know, you have different elements of it, and everything is organized here, and you could say kind of unified. You know, from the dashboard, the whole operation is starting.
So all departments would have the same dashboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So through this, you know, when it's unified, it also makes sense that like the communication between all departments is much easier, because if everybody uses the same, it's very convenient for them, you know. And I think this application of the software makes things much easier. So do you agree? Does this improve your business?
Of course, of course. Yeah, due to the, I mean, using one of those software for all of our departments, it will tremendously improve our business on every aspect. So I expect a much better communication on an internal level in the company.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second question was, or the second problem we were talking about was the loss of customers, or the loss of employees through the, you told outdated software, you could say that.
And outdated software.
Yeah, it's like not fitting your demand in the country, in the company anymore. So therefore, like, I can show you different elements here. So this would, for example, be like a customer profile or client profile, however you want to call it. So you have all the contact informations here. You have all the information about certain businesses, certain business you did in 1 year. So for example, you sold something in January, you sold something in March. So all of this is like in one page. You just do 2 or 3 clicks, and then you are directly on this page. You can also determine your goal in just a second, which is very important maybe for customers to, if they have like bonus contracts which are connected to those things. And every customer account is also trackable for you as an executive and other regional managers in just a second. You know, it's always real time, everything is updated, nothing has to be like really put into program again. So I think it's really a convenient way also to convince like future talent to get into your company. So I think, or do you think this might help you with keeping employees and also attracting new talent that you could say we're using Salesforce?
Yeah, of course, because I feel like with what you've told me, it will be more clear for us. I mean, things will be more clear. I'm convinced that the CRM software of Salesforce will increase our employee satisfaction. So yeah, it's a modern system with a lot of function features. So I'm sure we'll fulfill mostly all of our modern.
Okay, that sounds good, Mr. McPherson.
Yeah.
So going on to the last point we were talking about, that was like the communication globally and also like during the expansion process. So if you want to internationalize and go take a step into different countries, sometimes you have language barriers.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
That shouldn't. You also told me you have a lot of employees which speak the mother tongue in those countries, which makes sense. You're really globalized incorporation. But just as a basic feature, Salesforce is of course available in every language, which is mostly taught. So if you're in Egypt and you have to speak Arab, or if you go to Israel and you have to speak Hebrew, or in Europe there are so many languages, it's always available, you know.
Okay, and what about the device, the money transaction?
That's also included, you know. Salesforce is directly converting the currencies from, let's say, the Egyptian currency to dollars. So you in Houston, when you're sitting in your operations department, you can see how much really dollar value sold is in Egypt.
Great.
I think that was one problem. And it's also like that. It's not just the currency you can track, but you can track every business. You know, you can, from the beginning when there was like the first maybe sales call from one of your sales agents till the construction is completed, you can directly follow every process with Salesforce.com. So do you think that would help you?
Sure. I was telling you that the main problem in those countries was the communication, the currency conversion. So for our expansion through the international perspective to foreign country, I feel like this is gonna help us. It will be more clear again when our, for example, CRM software is on an up-to-date level. And yeah, I think we will convince more customers through this software. It will be more quick, so obviously the business will be better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if that's fine for you, or do you have any other questions for Salesforce.com? So yeah. I can also provide you with a test version of this, so that you first as a person can make use of it and get a little bit convinced with it.
All right.
So one other point I actually wanted to try to, or I should talk with you, is always, the price of the implementation. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we are businessmen. We both don't want to lose money, of course, but you also know that Salesforce has to charge you something for the process. So when we go back to the agenda, or to the problems we were talking about, we had like around, let's say 400 to 450 million.
Right.
You're potentially losing with
through that problem of
through the problems you have with your current operations software. Then on the other side, I can show you that Salesforce, with the things I was calculating around that, is approximately 15 million in introduction to and installation. Every computer needs to have the software. This is 15 million, and it would be around 1,800 per salesperson per year. So you were talking about like that you have different regions and different salespeople there.
Domestic, international.
So is it right if we would talk about like 20 salespeople per region who need it, or?
Yeah, approximately it's between 15 and 20. Yeah.
Okay, so if you then have 1,800 per person, it would be something around like 1.8 million more, I think, per year. So we would be around, maybe end up around $17 million for the whole implementation of the software. Does that look? What do you think about that? Does it make sense for you as well?
Yeah. Obviously, when I see that what we have lost last year, when I see this amount like 40 what did you write? It's 400 million.
It's 400 million.
That's
on the table. Yeah.
I feel like if we can have a better system to improve our communication on the international perspective, but also on the domestic between all those departments, for only I would say 17 million, I think it would be quite a big deal for us.
Okay. That sounds good. So
I mean, I don't have the power of decision. I need to speak with my board.
Yeah.
I need to speak with a financial.
So
sector,
how do you want to move on from today? What is your schedule on the implementation? How do you want to move on?
I feel like I can talk about that to my board, and I have all your information. So I will speak about that to my board maybe today or tomorrow, and I will contact you for a meeting next week.
Okay. Should we directly make an appointment for a meeting?
Yeah, sure. If I have a problem, I can always call you.
Okay. And, what do you think about? I think if I look into my schedule right here, it would be next Tuesday. Would fit me for lunch.
Next Tuesday? Yeah, it will be good actually. The Tuesday afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say
after lunch.
Yeah, like 1:30 again.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time.
And again, if I need to cancel for one reason, I have all your information. So,
for sure.
So that's great.
Okay, so for my side would be the end. Do you have any other questions today we should?
I think for today it's good. I mean, we are meeting next Tuesday, so so if I have any question between today and next Tuesday, I will see that with you next Tuesday.
Okay.
But I feel like it was quite complete. So yeah.
Okay.
All good.
I think then we should stop
from
here. And
yeah.
see you next Tuesday then.
See you next Tuesday.
Nice to meet you, Mr. McPherson.